Coach Hotal earlier said, don't let your old girls chase you, right? So I think I let that happen a little bit. Andrew Sanchez, very good fighter, dead, smart, great corner. I was like battling his corner and listening to mine at the same time, which is pretty cool. I was happy to be able to play that match. And it's an honor.
You know, weird way of looking at it, when we spoke this week, you said you were going to remind the division just about how dominant you are. Isn't that also a showing of dominance where maybe you didn't start as much as or as great and fast as you'd like, but you can close the show just like that?
So I appreciate you. Yeah, I was praying before the fight. I was ready to say, God, let me show me who I am, and let me show you who I'm to me. And we all fall short in life. Like, before God gives you that many chances, that's why you got to caution our sins. And I think we take that to a fighting perspective, but we look at our old fights and our old shortcomings, right? And we got to remember who you are. You're up there out here, let's say 1-1-2, 1-1-2, and I heard it, but I wasn't seeing it, and I just had to trust it, right? And sometimes you just got to go forward and trust it before you see it, and it worked. It worked clean, and we're very grateful. But to your point, yeah, that is dominance. So I think it's also dominance in your mind. Like saying, I don't care around 1, 2, whole year one, responsibility.
When you face a veteran like Andrew Sanchez and you have that mentality of you're going to remind the division, how do you feel coming out of this about where your place is in a very active and busy division?
Man, I'm grateful. We'll see what we do next year. This tournament and show the champion series. I want to stay active for sure. A lot of great things going on in my life. God really blessed me. What you saw today, we're looking at this what we see in the future.
Very excited for that. And then, just because I've been able to follow your career for so long, what's next for Impa outside? We know about the refinery. I know your parents were in town this week. I know what it means to get this win in your backyard. What's next for Impa the person?
Man, the person. So we spent some time in California. Just enjoy some time out there. Spend time with my family, people that I love. God's really blessed me with a great crew. Obviously, some grand over here with everybody. But they walk me through some challenging times, right? And as we step forward to better, we're really stoked. The process is starting with Listen Young, so big for accounting firms. The starting date, so it's going to finish up some things. Got to let everything finishes through. But I'm being consulting and finance. So we're doing that while playing. So be active for sure. I got to start studying tomorrow. One of my best friends in the world is going to be here today, Joseph Howell. It was his birthday yesterday, and he had a lead, but man, I wouldn't be here without him. I wouldn't be here without him. He's helped my life in so many ways. So shout out to you, Joe, for doing this video. I'm just so grateful for people in my life. I'm talking to my trainers. Get some lunch with them, dinner. They walked through maybe some really, really challenging times that I never met them.
Right.
Impa, obviously, first off, congrats on your victory. Good seeing you again, my man. Obviously, you're a man of faith, right? Don't get too high, don't get too low. But what does it do to your confidence to go out there and put a stamp on a performance like you did tonight?
Oh, man. It's funny, right? Because you're like, yeah, I got to finish. And your coach is like, what were you doing for 14 minutes or whatever? But it challenges me to be much more disciplined. Right? I had a great nutritionist who just coming right now. I'm working with him. He's been a big blessing in my kid in his life. And just like seeing, I believe there's so much more to me as a fighter, right? Working with Herbert on the ground, I felt comfortable. I had a feeling Sanchez would get tired, so I didn't stress. I didn't try to do anything crazy. Just stick with me, listen to my coaches before. Maybe I would have done crazy stuff. So just like to do that, it's like you need to be blessed, but I know I can do something better. So it challenges my confidence because I know we can do that.
Now, it seemed like, he was really wanted to initiate the grappling. You really did a good job at fighting the hands, scraping him off with the cage there. Were you able to, was that something that you knew coming in, that he was going to force that side of things, or what was the game plan really coming into tonight?
When you study your opponents, like when I studied him, he's an accomplished wrestler, the Division II champion, and a 6-time world champion in Jiu-Jitsu. So he's got stuff grappling. But right here you see Herbert Burns, amazing trainer, coach. He'll make me do this one drill over and over. And I'm like, we go to the next thing, he's like, do it again. But then you realize when you're on the ground, it's like, it almost felt like we were drilling. Really, I was like, okay, to be mindful because he can punch here, we talked about it. Shout out to my team at Hickory. He fights on the river side. He's a divide follower with Tarzan Belfast Star. Excellent training partner. I've been through those rounds and rounds of meetings. So I figured he wanted to initiate the grappling because he's a strong suit of this, but he did pretty good striking too. He was landing that jab. I had to see it. I know he wanted to land the right hand, so I was trying to see. But overall, he's a really good fighter with great coaching and glad he got the victory.
And last one for me. Obviously, you won the title a little bit higher of a weight class. How's the body been adjusting at 185? Obviously, you fought here before, but how's been the adjustment like coming back down and having really a full year or a full season in this weight class?
Feel good to be back at 85. Keep myself up in the fight at 72 because deep is crazy. It feels good to be back, right? I saw it right into double leg this weekend, right? These guys are bigger, but I still fight anybody, heavyweight, Francis, where you at, you know? Like it doesn't matter, the fight's a fight. But I do really feel good at 85. This is probably the best I've ever felt. Body-wise, head to my toes, everything. Mental, physical, spiritual. So it's a huge credit though. Like my trainers after every fight, good, win or loss, they always give me an honest treatment where I can even get better. And I'm that kind of guy, man, I could do whatever, eat whatever, go train. But in order to hit that next level too, I had people like Ronald Lucas, he's been amazing. Like, he's like, eat, sit down and eat. I was walking around and why aren't you eating? So it's been a big blessing. So back at 85, and I say I'm not back, I'm better than I ever was. I'm looking forward to getting better between whatever time I fight again. And we'll see.
Amazing. Appreciate it, man. Congrats.
So 170, are you kidding about that, or is that
I'm
possible?
not kidding. I'm not kidding at all. I think I can do it. I try to be a little bit more disciplined on some things, but I'll talk to my trainers and tell Dr. Peacock, who's amazing too. Shout out to him. Jonathan Logan, more shout out to my discipline. You don't get a fight forever, right? And I fought at 70 before. If you're the most obedient version of yourself, the most disciplined version of yourself, is something fun to see. And I think it would challenge me. It would be a challenge in my training, it would challenge my life and fights, but there's so many different guys to fight from 70 to heavyweight. So I want to test those limits and do potential.
Yeah. Is there a chance that your next fight it's at 70, or you think that's something for?
I don't know. I have to talk to my trainers. They're probably gonna yell at me after this, but probably 85. We'll see. But if there's an opportunity, I'll be down.
And I'm assuming you want in on the next tournament for next year.
Tournament or show the super fight series. You see what's this? They're the winner of Fabian and Roston. We'll fight for the title. Waiting for the fight who's next. You stay in that line and fight for the title. Fight Johnny again. It's gonna be a great matchup. I think that's a fight that I really, really love. And I mean, he did great last fight, obviously till the end. Salvin Steen is here today, excellent champion, friend of mine. But either one of these guys will love to fight, whether it's Dolan or Fabian. Like, whenever the PFL shakes up, then I'll be ready for any score.
But what do you prefer, the championship series or the tournament?
What do I prefer? I prefer the tournament because you stay active, for sure. Because you can fight back to back to back and do that. It'd be nice to fight like twice in a year. I mean, last year I fought 5 fights. The year before I fought 5 fights. This year I fought twice. So I want to really show the best version of myself. And maybe be spreading it out a little bit better. So I like the tournament, to answer your question. I mean, you prefer it, but it might be better for you to do the championship. We'll see myself.
And how do you see the division shaking out? So obviously we'll see the final in a bit. And then you got Costello, waiting for the winner, and then Johnny Emlyn as well, he's a player. How do you think it's all going to shake out in the coming months?
Man, it's a good fight in the final. He talks, but he's not a bad fight. He finds a way to win. Fabian's a sharpshooter, he's been in the championship fights before. I do see Fabian getting it. You see, that's a good fight between Fabian and Costello. It's an interesting fight between Dalton and Costello, that's the case. Maybe the runner-up by Johnny goes up, but I like to put my name in the hat too. I won that first fight, and I the world says, it's split, whatever, but I mean, we're both excellent champions. Johnny and Costello, maybe the next fighter, so Dalton obviously that's what we're here, right? But I'd like to be next in line with a fight or two, fight for the middleweight title.
Last question for me. So it seems that Costello's saying that he's going to get the winner of this fight, that he wants to get the winner. So it looks like maybe not an immediate rematch with Johnny Emlyn. Would you be interested in fighting?
Johnny, let's do it. Let's do it. For sure. I'd be honored if Johnny's down to do it. And, I'd be honored to have that fight again. We'll get a 5-rounder. Let's do a real title contender fight. It's 3 is 3, man.
Congratulations, Impa. So just curious, what was it like being here again, fighting here? The crowd was on your side and all. Just what was that all like?
That's a big honor. When you're a kid and you see people fight or something, and you come up and fight and you hear somebody's name being chanted, that's a different kind of feeling. It's like, you're able to get to your head, but you're always grateful that people come up and support you, especially in your hometown. I was born in Fort Lauderdale, grew up in Okeechobee, Florida, all over here, and then the South and North Carolina. But like, Florida's a special place to me. And to come back here after losing the fight in Saudi, losing the last one to Fabian, both excellent, both excellent fighters, and Fabian pulled it together tonight, champion as well. But some people want to take time off. I never do. I want to get back to it. Man, I would have fought on the Sean card in this one if they would let me. But man, it's an honor. Got a lot of people that I love in that crowd. People who walk through this. It's said challenging times, and here we are. Here we are. And I say I'm not back. I'm better than I ever was, and I'm looking forward to improving from this point on.
And then last one for me, you actually answered, I think. You don't want to take any time off. Are you going to do any bike riding or anything somewhere and then going back in there?
I do motorcycle riding the Keys, that'll be fun. And then hopefully we'll shoot at a motorcycle film with some guys. So that'll be fun. Maybe like to Baja, California.
First off, congratulations. You kind of talked about discipline, so I'm kind of curious, what role has discipline played in your development as an athlete and as a person?
Yeah, discipline's been a big teacher, right? It's like a great mirror. To me, it's like when you lack it, it shows you what you're lacking. Easily it doesn't care, but when you stick with it, you get out of the faith no matter what negative thoughts come to your mind, right? So I've always been a pretty calm fighter, and I never really had negative thoughts before a fight. It was weird this time. I was like, oh, that's weird. Like, it's like things, but I can trust in my faith, most importantly, Christ, and my discipline. And Herbert would tell me, he's like, man, don't let the old ghost chase you. Don't think about the past, right? And I think when you have discipline, you can look at those ghosts and say, I know I've done my job.
Yeah. Yeah, and you talk about faith, so you've spoken about it. How does it influence like your career? Like, can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, faith is everything, man. Like, faith is cool because, like I think I was listening to a song by Brandon Lake. It's called Daddy's DNA, right? And it just talks about like the prodigal son story a little bit. And what I like about it is like I felt that way, right? Like you win the title 2023, you're pretty solid 24, and you kind of lose yourself in the process. And like not really trash talking, but just within yourself. I don't really go to church as much, I'm always traveling. But you gotta be so disciplined, man. And it's easy just to run from God and just think that you're the one doing it, and then He'll remind you, right? And then not in a bad way. I was really grateful for that because if I didn't lose my last 2 fights, maybe I would ruin my life. I don't know. Yeah, I'd be running around on a motorcycle, I'm not some hardened dude, some gangster around here at all, but I just think it's easy to forget who gave you the blessings in life, right? If you don't give the glory back to God, you can really, really lose yourself in it. And I think I was for a while. So, but it's so cool how much like God like accepts you right back. You have conditional love, so you can be free, and that gives you the freedom to fight. You're never gonna be perfect in life. You're never gonna always have the right answer, but I always recognize that like He loves you unconditionally. And that's what I always want this platform to be. It's unconditional. So it brought me back. It brought me back for sure. And like the slap you in the face when you get knocked out by 2 people, so you gotta do something. Right? But faith also lets you know, even if you fall short, you can step back in that cage in any arena of life, maybe you just win.
Yeah, and last question, when you were walking out of the ring, what was going through your mind?
Man, the song, so I was in Cuba not long ago, and they just have fun. These people out here, like, some people might not ever get the chance to fight, but they work harder than anybody you've ever seen. They have nothing. And I was just grateful. The song was just called Puri Fika, man. It's just like telling God purifies you. And I felt like that's what it was. It's the purification process is constantly. So I always like pick a song that like honors God, but also a song that just like speaks to my heart. And hopefully somebody in the crowd knows me hears some Spanish in South Florida, right? So I figured it'd be something that they could listen to on their own too. But when I was going to that cage and I heard my name, and I was like, man, like God, like, I was praying as I was walking the cage and you see the video, but I was saying, God, remind me of who I am, but more importantly, remind those of who you are through me. And it just felt good just to be free. And he punched me in the face, punched me back, and we got into it. And I told my trainers, like, I wanted to feel it a little bit. They should have waited as long. But I fought a really good opponent, and I just felt free.
Thank you for time.
You tried a couple of unsuccessful roundhouses, and that's eventually what you took advantage of to knock him down, get the stop. Is that something you were anticipating?
Not really. My coach told me to stop kicking, but I just decided to go for it. So,
Hi. Congratulations tonight. Explain to me what it's like being at Boardwalk tonight.
Here at the Hard Rock?
Yes.
The Hard Rock's a special place. It's really cool when you walk in and you see all these like mostly great bands and people who come here to perform. And I get to see every year twice. When you pass the highway, I used to live on a farm west of Doral at 10, right? And I'd ride the motorcycle back to Kilburn, and I would see this big guitar. I believe that one day we're fighting here to have fights, but it's just like cool to actually have it happen and achieve it here. The Hard Rock's a special place for me. Being a South Florida guy, having people from my Jiggy Brown, people from Kill Clip, come to family. It's a big honor. get in.
What would you say was the ultimate challenge tonight up there?
Big challenge is just trusting, right? Trusting with not my trainer would say, but trusting in myself again. Letting it go. I was kind of playing it safe, trying to find the perfect shot, rather than realizing, hey, you just love to fight, you better just go. And when we did that, the results spoke for themselves. We probably could have done it earlier, but it was a good test again.
Now that you won, what are you going to do?
I'm going to go pray, go refine, and get better. Spend time with some people that I really love. And just, take my dog out for a walk or something, and then travel a little bit, but be right back to work.
Thank you so much. Live with Shaq.
Thank you.
But real quick, I just want to follow up one thing. I feel like you were the first one to really kind of change the course and the narrative around the PFL. And I know you've won the season before, but now that they moved to the World Tournament, we're seeing so many young fighters kind of establish themselves, establish their brands within the PFL. As someone who has been a veteran here with the PFL, how do you feel that this change to the World Tournament and the production value you've seen this year from the company has kind of opened the fans to the fighters on the roster?
Man, you see two really solid fighters that get those built up with Maggie and Alexis Leandre. Alexis is one of them, but they're doing the right thing. I think everything she got to go to this one. PFL is representing. And I'm grateful to change my life. I think this is my 12th or 13th month of the PFL, which is like my mind to think of that. But there's a platform, there's an opportunity. My dad always said, there's more power in fighting than you by yourself and the group where you're playing. And I believe when you take advantage of opportunities given to you in the PFL, you can do a lot of great things in your life. Right? I think everyone's always trying to get, like I do say that this because they're trying to keep an obligation somewhere else. But the staff at the PFL is amazing. They always check in. My parents told me, this is a shout out to the PFL staff. I'm at my house chilling, and they're like, gosh, the PFL, everybody came up to us and gave us hugs. But that means more to me than even winning the fight team. My mom is just like, she's like below, and because she's like, everybody from the PFL, like, got it from the trainers and sent it in. You don't always see that every day, right? So to me, that means as an organization doesn't always care about the fighters, right? It cares about the people coming up. Everybody's always deals with one more, there's one place, but you got to see that, are you invited, what you want. And I definitely say that. So like, what they're doing with the tournament, what they're doing with this, and I know that there's intentionality behind it, there's creative changes in the company, but I think it's always going to go for the better. You just got to keep showing up as a fighter and you're trying to.
You mentioned 170. You just mentioned his name. A possible super fight, maybe against that. Gene, does that appeal to you at all?
It'd be an honor. To my teammates, so I'd be an honor to fight him. I bumped into him after one time. I don't know what he's doing now. He's doing good things. He's a good kid. He's a good young man. And we fought him to be an honor. But I say, I told him ticket. I say that I told him you won the title, excellent job. Take 2 days, turn your phone on, and just focus on the game. He was actually getting yelled at me, coaching me in the fight, he's saying the right things. I was like, appreciate you, though. So I'm not going to go at him, but it would be an honor if that's something somebody that they make. My body can make the cut.
Thanks.